Fala galera, retornando aqui então com a nossa série de Alan Wake. Vou pedir antes de começar o vídeo para que vocês se inscrevam no canal, ativem o sininho para não perder as notificações, curtem, comentem e compartilhem para ajudar a série, hein galera, vamos lá. Continuando aqui então. O último vídeo foi treta, hein?
Hey, handsome. This is gonna be a long night, but these shots are turning out great.
I guess you're gonna need that coffee then. I'll go put it on.
Aqui é nosso coletável do jogo, né? Dá uma explorada na casa, hein? Que agonia não poder correr dentro desse lugar, velho. Aqui os livros. Série Alan Wake. Uma página de manuscrito.
It's true what they say about the fall and the sudden stop at the end. I'd lain here in the snow while the lurid chain of scenes that had led me here kept playing in my head. A rerun of my own private snuff movie. A memory of my corpse. Alone at my own wake. Thinking in metaphors again. The femme fatale was gone. Only a sour taste remained of the kiss that killed me. This was a late goodbye. 13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see.
Aí. Então, Channing Box. O trono, né? Qual parte do banheiro? Remedinho do nosso Alan Wake. O cara precisa, né, velho? O cara é perturbado demais, velho.
The continuing freezing rain and heavy snowfall have necessitated a winter storm warning in the entire tri-state area. People are advised to stay indoors as many roadways are already closed, and city officials are not
Tá
expecting
feio lá fora mesmo,
to
hein?
keep up with the weather. We're now on the third day of the blizzard, and the weather is not expected to clear up anytime soon.
Bora. Quem viu se essa porta tava aberta ou não. Não, tá fechado também. Tem a cozinha. Ou quer preparar um café, né? Aqui. Aqui, ó.
Coffee's on.
Great.
Caraca, rápido
thanks.
assim, mano.
I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
O maluco é brabo. Uma máquina boa essa. Só que o café tá pronto já. TVzão, Shining Box. Bora, meu Deus, tem que fazer. A TV deve estar toda quebrada aqui, né? Parece que tá toda amassada essa caixa aí.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Oh, really?
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
Mais 18.
These look really good.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called.
Começou a diabarinha.
Alan, please check the fuse box.
Ah, ela tem fobia
I'm right
de
here.
escuro, né?
I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry.
I'm right here, baby.
I'm fine, I'm fine. Just get the lights back on. Now, please.
Fobia de escuro, velho.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay. Hi.
You okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't
O que eu
worry.
passei então até
We'll just
agora?
break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head.
Loucura. Dá uma conferidinha rapidão aqui.
I'm sorry you had to cut your morning fishing short for this, Doc.
Oh, she's a beauty, ain't she? Not the biggest I ever caught, if you can believe that coming from an old fisherman like me, but she's right up there. Now, she's a largemouth bass, which is what you're after if you prefer a lure. Now, if you want either trout or salmon, on the other hand, then it's fly fishing for you. You a fishing man, Mr. Wake? Oh, doesn't really matter, I suppose. But it can be very relaxing out there. You can't get me off the water this time of year. Closest thing to heaven.
I'll take your word for it, Doc.
Vou sim. Nossa, ele ir embora dessa cidade. Mas e cadê a mina lá,
I
velho?
believe you'll find the sheriff in her office. Just go down the corridor.
Cabulado com isso, mano. E a mina, velho? Vamos lá. Dar continuidade aqui. Enrolando demais. Desaparecido, 20/6/7. Usa truques para ganhar os concursos. Desaparecidos, daí essa galerinha aí, saíram para acampar há dias, não entraram em contato. E, meu Deus, eu vou ficar apertando o ESC para sair do negócio.
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk.
Só um minutinho.
It's charged now.
Vai ficar.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake? How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up. Excuse me. I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
Mr. Wake, can I help you with anything?
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor. Just don't mind Walter in there. He's one of our regulars.
I thought he'd quit drinking for good.
Oh, no such luck. He went on a bender and beat Danny pretty badly. He started shouting like that the moment he woke up.
Caraca, mano, que viagem, velho. Agora, pelo que aparenta, os caras sequestraram a mina lá. Manuscrito.
Alice looked through the viewfinder, lining up the shot. Cauldron Lake was breathtaking. Something caught her eye. A figure standing in the shadows behind the cabin, like a thin woman in a black dress. She lowered the camera and looked again. No one there. Just a collection of bushes that looked vaguely human-shaped. She shook her.
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton. There's no sign of him. Over.
Wait. Yeah, this is Thornton. Look, we've located the gray float. It's here. That's some good news, right? Stucky was supposed to be driving it at the rehearsals today. Over.
Oh, give me that. Mulligan here. Looks like someone really thrashed the garage. Over.
Okay, roger that, guys. Keep looking for Stucky. Jane's out.
Hey, you! Can you help me? Can you turn the lights on?
Todo mundo tem medo do escuro nisso aqui, né, velho?
In spite of its human mask, to describe the dark presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman. Nonetheless, it found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. Some light spilled into the corridor, ravaging it. But it took the pain. Horrible as it was, the writer would soon fix that. He would be coming to the one place where it still had power.
Vamos lá na cafeteria que a gente parou antes.
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, go through the fence on the left.
Pegar o coletável aqui, né?
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the sheriff's department. We've had a few broken
Paradas, tiros parados, tudo normal de uma cidade pequena.
Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deerfest float. Now, folks, we get this every year. I know it's exciting, the big days
Vamos na festa do cervo.
Let's save it for the party.
Só pra não enfalar tanto, vai. Jump, dá o jump. Caralho, o maluco é brabo, mano.
Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business. Barry?
Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. Oh, I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Ow! What the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
Ah, o amigo Barry do cara veio pra cá, velho. Será que eu não vou me ferrar sozinho mais agora?
The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall on the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak.
Olha só. Sei qual é que é agora. O que tem que convencer é xerife. Voltar lá pra salinha, será? Vai ser xerife. Ele dá no pé daí, mano. Lá, 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 lá. Voltar aqui então. Nossa.
A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
Aqui.
Marvelous, Sarah. I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their recent and regrettable little outing. They are not accountable for their actions, of course. I can assure you that my staff has been reprimanded.
Tor and Odin never caused any trouble to anyone when they were still living at their farm.
Indeed. All we can do is to slow down the progress of their dementia.
Oriodin. Corvus.
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey! Oh, my!
Take it easy.
Ah, porra. Morrão de direita.
Nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Vai tomar outro,
Get
tio?
me out of here.
Caralho, chegou o
What the
parceirão
hell
ali.
was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
É, tio, tu se ferrou junto comigo.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him!
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow, I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max?
O Max Payne.
What an airhead.
Jeez, Mr. Takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan.
Fechado, fechado. Caraca, fossa do mamutão, mano. Esqueleto de um mamute da Colômbia. Estima-se que esse exemplar de 14 mil anos foi encontrado lá em 81. Foi doado ao Parque Nacional em 98 e quando o mamute da Colômbia se tornou um fóssil, foi do estado de Washington. Foi batizado de Charles Dentes Largos e agora é o mascote oficial do parque.
Seriously, Al, what you were saying in the car? Just listen to yourself. What, you shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? What, are you high? Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week, and someone's got Alice,
Do
and
you
everything's just...
understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong, it's a good story, could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
Wait here.
Daqui a pouco tu vai ver se eu tô maluco, tio. Pera. Espera o bicho colar em tu, tu vai ver. Vamos falar aquele cara ali fora. Fala, fiote, bom?
Easy there, boy. I'm almost done.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure. What happened?
Crazy poachers. Max here got his foot caught in
You
a trap.
can't just go and meet a kidnapper. Those situations always end up in disaster.
O cara falou que o formulário tava aqui do lado, não tô vendo nada. Ah, é esse aqui.
You gotta talk to the
Do lado.
cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No. This whole thing is...
Caraca, tio, dá um tempo.
hit your head.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too.
Lugar precioso que vai sumir
If you
depois
have
com
any
outro.
trouble finding it, just keep your eyes on the radio mast. It's right below that.
Mano, olha onde o cara vai se enfiar, velho.
If you're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out, it's working. Ha ha! Let's have a laugh on Barry. That's just crazy talk, Al. Al? Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her! This is not a goddamn debate, Barry. I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help, and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
Tá malzão, hein, tio?
Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be deliverance all over again.
Sabe você dos caipira, hein?
Oh, this place is trying to kill me. I'll bet there's mold in here, spores, poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission.
E a arma? A arma, tio. Mais uma garrafinha de café. Ia. Tá luzes, maluco. Mano, o jogo não me dá a arma, velho. E vai começar a diabaria. Olha que da hora essa mesinha, hein? Eu vou ter que olhar aqui. Vai ter como. Ah, ali ó, tem uma xicarazinha de café ali, velho. Explorar o lugar. Olha uma xicarazinha. Que? Garrafa.
I'll wait here, Al. I'll hold down the fort. I'll be with you in spirit.
É aí, seu cagão. Ó, tô com revolvão já, hein? Tô na mão. Aí dá treta.
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality.
O cara tá mais que certo, tá apavorado.
Barry had the keys to the car he rented. It wasn't a long walk to the visitor center, and it wouldn't be any use to me in the forest.
Ai, ai. Ainda a pé, né? Porque não...
I knew I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
Lugar que esses caras se enfia, velho. Cenário tipo de um filme de terror. Coisa. Tá, porra.
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like? My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage.
Vocês viram a janela ali?
Really, just taking the atmosphere.
Caraca, velho, me deu um arrepio aqui no pescoço agora. É louco. Essa luz aí, obrigado. Ah, um balancinho, ó. Ai, ai, ai. Vai, começa a mexer sozinho, vai. Ah, ai, ai, ai. Certamente que isso ia acontecer, hein. Vamos balançar o fantasminha, vai. Caraca. Mano. Me ficou bravo, vai de novo. Nossa, tô arrepiado, velho. Tô arrepiado mesmo. Sem zoeira. Agora eu tô me cagando. Como me disse que não é pra entrar nessa casa, mas eu vou entrar, né, velho. Quanto lugar pra explorar aqui, mano. Explorar, tomar cagaço. Mas que o maluco já tá meio perturbado. Aí o amigo dele deixa ele vir sozinho aqui, né? Legal. Estão nessa porta aí também. Ei, vem, vem, vem. Não dá pra ligar a luz. Já vai dar merda já. E liga uma TV quando chega numa casa dessa, velho.
The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs. Tonight's episode: The Man in the Mirror.
Mano, os caras falaram de Odin, Thor, e do nada começa a aparecer uns corvos. Nossa, aquela placa parece alguém lá em cima, velho. Já vou nesse carro, vamos aqui primeiro. Manuscritinho.
Rose knew that Rusty was in love with her, and she liked him too. She liked him a lot. He taught her to dance, and life had certainly taught her the value of a man who was gentle. He treated her well, made her smile, made her feel good. But Rusty wasn't the prince of her dreams, and that tended to underline the unbearable truth. She was no closer to that Hollywood magic than he was.
Mais um manuscrito ali.
visitor center was heavy with an awful smell, as if some rotten drowned thing had crawled up from its grave. Rusty kept coughing blood. My eyes were drawn to the twisted shape of his broken leg. The attack had been vicious. Max whined in his cage. Rusty's eyes were wild with fear and terror. He gasped. Mr. Wake,
Caralho, Wake, tu é um sedentário também, né, velho? Tu corre nem 10 metros, o maluco tá morrendo já, velho.
The vision left me weak. This was no head injury.
Ih, ia tretar.
Rusty, hang on! I'm coming! Please, help me!
Chegando, tô chegando.
Anybody? Help me! Help me!
Chegando, tô chegando. Cadê tu, maluco?
Anyone! Please help! Help me! Hello? Back here! I'm back here! Hey, please!
Mr. Wake?
Oh, hell.
It happened just the way it was on that page. I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must... The lights. In the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Ele tá firme, o cara tá morto já, mano.
Whatever did this couldn't be far. Rusty had found a page from the manuscript. It would help me understand what had happened. Shh. Good boy.
Liberta o cachorro. É, mano. Cachorro nessas horas é útil, velho. Bora. Tem aqui?
The only way to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on.
É, vai ser fácil assim, meu querido. O fantasma fez. Vai ligar a luz tranquilaço. Bora jogar um Tibia aqui. Manuscrito. Era por... É por aqui, não. Que alcança com
At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the trunk of a tree. I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs burned. I was too exhausted to move. I tensed as I waited for the killing blow, but it never came. I raised my head. Nothing moved.
Sabemos que a luz é um lugar bom nesse jogo. Pega bala. Estão dando bala, estão dando revólver, bateria, vai ter treta aí.
I was too late. Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker. There was no way to get the lights back on.
Rusty!
Porra, viado.
The ground was covered with oily patches that looked like liquid darkness.
Vem pro pau, vem pro pau. Pau que tu não tá lidando com bobaião, rapaz. Vem, toma. Nossa senhora, o cara lança o machado, carrega, carrega. Toma, sujeira. Vem. Tirando com os olhos, caralho.
Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
O doguinho, velho. Cadê o doguinho?
Don't feed the animals.
Fishing is only permitted for those visitors who purchase a park fishing license. Obey
Ah, tá ali em cima.
the park ranger's instructions.
at all times.
Rusty? Rusty, no!
Ih, tá possuidaço.
To principals, never approach any other
Olé! Caralho, Rush. Tá loucaço, velho. Mano, que brisa. Vem. Porra, tá tirando, rapaz. Meu Deus, tem mais dois lá. Bala, 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 bala. Foda-se. Eu voltei, calma. Desculpa o meu cachorro de fundo, né? Seria complicado de manter. Então vamos então, vamos brabo. Luz, bom. Piririm, piririm, piririm.
What the hell was that? I saw from the window. I saw something.
Forget about it, Barry. It's just me going crazy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're not crazy. I wish you were crazy, but you're not crazy.
Agora tu acredita, né?
Stay in the cabin. Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it. In that last instant of consciousness, Rusty thought about Rose. He was older than she was. Rose was barely out of her teens, but she made him feel young and forget what a train wreck his long-dead marriage had been. He still wore the ring. He'd been waiting for her to tell him to take it off. Now she never would.
Tá aqui, a câmera de novo. Aqui, viagem. Fala. Que lugar é esse, velho? Meu Deus.
Lover's Peak was at the far end of the nature trail.
Pra onde o cara vai se enfiar, velho? Meu Deus do céu, uma caverna. Correndão. Tô ouvindo uma segunda respiração. Essa merda, velho. Tá escuro, mano. Engarda, mano. As balas junto, né? Não era esse o lugar? Caverna de líquido. Essa caverna era usada para frequente lucrativo. Bando de álcool durante a lei seca. Ela armazenava ocasionalmente álcool trazido do Canadá, mas às vezes álcool também. Tá com o forrão na mão? Agora eu tô meio perdido pra onde que... Lado, né? Beleza. Ah, claro que a lâmpada vai quebrar, né? A porra que susto. Vem. É bom que esse é um jogo de terror que dá pra confrontar os bichos, pelo menos. Meu Deus, tem um bicho atrás, velho. What the fuck? Saiu da onde? Nossa, tomou olho de híbrido. Tranquilo, vem tranquilo. Toma. Lascou também. Agora o certo a fazer é voltar lá e pegar as munições lá atrás, hein. Ficar sem bala nesse jogo, mano. Ó. A Cala é muito sedentário, velho. Corre, Berg. Para que é pra lá, mas tem outro lugar aqui.
Nobody in Bright Falls seemed to know where Al was, but Rose, the waitress at the diner, had seen him. From what Barry could tell, Al pretty much fell off the face of the earth when he left the diner. Rose was just the kind of fan that Al hated, but she really tried to help. She was smart too, knew a lot about what was going on in the town, knew a lot about Al, even knew who Barry was. Barry liked her. That was no big surprise.
Começando a brisar já, hein. Meu Deus, que susto, mano. Puta merda. Mais outro ali na esquerda, hein. Ah, tá difícil de morrer, hein, velho. Que susto daquele cara assim no meio da árvore, velho, na moral. Trairagem desse jogo, mano. Meu, tá brotando o cara agora, hein. Sem bala, eu tô sem bala. Corre, Berg, corre, Berg. Tranquilo, vem tranquilo. Se essa lâmpada estourar, eu vou ficar muito puto. muita munição, tio, que eu tô precisando. Tô 12. 12 não mata nenhum bicho, eu acho. Bitinho.
I turned the corner, afraid of what the flashlight's beam might reveal. Suddenly, a roughly painted symbol of a torch glowed in the light. Behind it, hidden by a rock, sat a battered metal trunk. It was here for a reason, packed with supplies, batteries, flares, ammo, things you need to make it through the darkness of the night. Something left behind by someone who knew what I knew, and more.
Um lugar ali embaixo, será que eu tenho que descer por aqui mesmo? Vou dar a volta, né? É. Legal, tem urso, deve ter urso por aqui. Tem 12 balas só, tio, não vai tancar mais um cara. Ai, ai, ai. Não é só mais um, são 3, velho. Meu Deus. Eu fui humilde quando eu falei 3. Caraca, tio. Olha, jogo, vocês não me dão munição pra isso não, velho. Nossa senhora.
Agent Nightingale didn't want to be in Bright Falls. These little communities revolted him, and he didn't like the trees or the coffee. He now knew that impossible horrors lurked behind the storefronts and smiles. He desperately wanted to turn the car around and just drive until he passed out or ran out of road and booze. But he had a job to do. He had a rider to catch.
Vamos lá. O episódio tá tenso, velho. É louco. Ai, ai, ai. Não é uma boa ideia usar isso, eu acho, mas não temos outra escolha, né? Nossa, tô tenso que eu tô com muito pouca munição, velho. Isso acaba a bateria agora, eu tô na pascada. É óbvio que isso ia acontecer. Segura, velho.